All right, godlings, this is the best I can do because the light broke. Sorry for now. Anywho, the message is more important than seeing my weird face. I can't. Ugly. I'm not, I don't think I'm ugly, but I'm weird. Okay, you won't have to see my weird face. Anyway, let's get down to business. The business is parenting. Now, I'm not going to lecture anybody about how to parent. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, I'm just going to say what I've seen. Okay, what I've seen with my own eyes. Now, first, a little background. I went to college and I studied in psychology, and emphasis was on childhood development and behavioral modification. Okay. Now, I knew I knew what kind of parent I was going to be once we started in on that. You know, I was going to be a parent with purpose, for one. First, you want to be a parent with purpose, and that's the way I went about it. Now, what I've seen in my life, in my whole entire life, is I've seen sections of parents, right? The biggest section of parents I see is good. The largest section of parents I see, they try really hard for their kids as best they can. They love them. They absolutely love them. But a lot of the problem is the system has the parents. By the time the system gets done with the parents, they don't have much energy for the kids. Now, some parents have a little bit more energy than others. Some have better jobs than others. It doesn't sap them of their energy totally like that, right? Now, but they still love them. They still try the best they can. Even if they can't be there physically, they can at times, and they try in their own little way, right? Like my dad. My dad couldn't be there physically a lot because the factory took him away from me. But he provided for us monetarily. That was the best he could do. That was the way he could be there for us. What else was he going to do? Because the factory says you're going to be there. You know, they don't want to hear that you got to go hang out with your kid. No, you're going to be at the factory, right? And my mom's boyfriend had the gall to get on my dad's case. So, it's like he's trying to buy you off. Like, no, Dad's just providing a good Christmas for us and what he knows. Anywho, okay, so beyond that, there's the real small section of parents that are shitty. They abuse them physically, sometimes sexually, and that shouldn't happen. That's fortunately a small section. And they just don't respect their kids, of course, if they're doing that. Now, I've seen other little section of parents, they don't like their kids. They just don't like them. They take care of them all right. They might love them, but not really. And you can tell this because you listen to them, what they say. And I've heard this from a few different parents, and it's sad. I keep my mouth shut. I won't say anything, but I hear them. I hear the way they talk. And they don't say anything good about their kids unless they can brag about it and like attach their ego to it. Other than that, they just talk shit about their kids on how their kids are so fucking bad. And it's horrible to hear. I've heard it and I hate it. I'm like, oh man, so you don't respect your kids. And then they wonder why the kids are like mouthing off at them, being angry with them. It's like, well, you taught them that, you don't respect them. All I know is you got to respect them. And then there's the other small section of parents that really respect their children, try really super hard. Now, everybody's perfect, like myself. I'm not perfect, but I try really hard. I've tried parenting with purpose. Like I said, not that I'm perfect at it, but I try really hard at it. And I've seen other parents like that, and God bless them, no matter what, they're there for their kids. They love them. They sacrifice for them. And we need more of that, right? We definitely need more than that. And it's good that we have who we have. I know that. But that's parenting, and it's unfortunate because I've met a lot of a huge wide cross section of society myself, right? I've met children when I was homeless. They were 16, and I was like, I'm homeless, but I'm still naive to things in the world, right? I was I was already in the Army. I'm a smart guy, studied a lot. I was in the Army, and then I was homeless, and I met some kids, 16, both boys and girls. I'm like, why aren't you home? I couldn't fathom the idea that kids were not in the care of an adult somehow, somewhere. And I didn't understand this. I'd never heard this slice of life. That, well, it's either be out here and be on my own and be happy and be kind of free, or be home with my either their born family or foster family and getting molested. I'm like, oh my God, that was really sad to me, and that's really messed up to hear that from kids, that they had to endure that, because whatever I had to go through wasn't nothing in comparison to that, right? So then there's some that hear that their parents were non-existent in their life, right? And sometimes I think, you know what? If the bio dad, like if you're a mom and the bio dad isn't around, that's probably better for you sometimes, right? If you're a dad, a single dad, and the bio mom isn't around, sometimes it's better for you, right? And sometimes for the children. Like if you're a child and, your daughter or son even, or whatever, sometimes it's better that your biological parent is not there, because in the least, you miss having your parental figure, but in the least, the one thing that didn't happen is you didn't get abused by them. So, I try to think practical in all sorts of ways, but I mean, seriously, I've seen the whole cross section, the whole gamut across society, and, and realistically, it's like, yeah, better off not having a parent than a real shitty one. I'm telling you, man. And there's a lot of not good parents in this world, It's relatively rare ones that are really super good parents that really love their kids and take care of them, I think a lot of parents just tolerate their kids, and that's unfortunate, And I always loved it, though. They always complain about their kids. I'm like, you train them. I never had that problem. I never had the problem with disrespect from kids. From kids or step kids, like I heard horror stories about. Never had that, because I didn't disrespect them. And that's the other thing I see. A lot of adults, they forget all that respect stuff. They think just because they're adults, they automatically deserve respect. Well, no, you don't. Not if you're going to disrespect them. Just think you automatically deserve it. No, you're setting yourself up for failure. But hey, have fun. That's all I had on my rant about parenting. I didn't tell anybody how to raise their kids, but authoritative. Authoritative is the best parenting anyway. But I have a good one.